You know that amazing AI model a data scientist builds on their laptop? The one that works perfectly? Ever wonder why so many of them just disappear? Well, the journey from that laptop to a real-world product is, frankly, one of the biggest headaches in AI today. But what if there was something that could fix that? A platform that acts like the operating system for your entire AI factory.
So, in this explainer, we're going to hit the 5 key things you need to know about Kubeflow. First, we'll look at the messy problem it's built to solve. Then, how it actually tames that chaos. We'll peek inside the toolkit, weigh its incredible power against its complexity, and finally, we'll ask the big question: is this really a future-proof foundation for your AI? All right, let's dive right into that core challenge, the messy AI problem. It's just so hard to get a machine learning model from a laptop into production. You can think of it like this. You can have a perfectly designed engine, right? But that's a long way from a finished car rolling off a real assembly line. And that really is the big question, isn't it? Why is this so difficult? Well, when you move from that clean, controlled, experimental space to a live system, you're suddenly hit with a tidal wave of complexity. We're talking about a jungle of different tools, clumsy manual handoffs, and environments that just don't match up. It's a recipe for disaster. And this quote just nails it. The old way of doing things is this patchwork of separate tools stitched together. And that's not just slow, it's incredibly fragile. It's full of potential errors, and you can almost never get the exact same result twice. When consistency is everything, that's a deal breaker. Okay, so that brings us to Kubeflow. It's a platform that was designed from the ground up to tame all of that chaos. The best way to think about it is as an operating system, but for machine learning operations, or MLOps. It gives you a single, unified foundation to build everything on.
So what is it, really? At its core, Kubeflow is an open-source project. Its whole job is to take on the really heavy lifting of deploying and managing all these complicated ML workflows. And the way it does that is by building right on top of the undisputed king of cloud computing, Kubernetes. You know, the name itself really tells you the whole story. Kube is short for Kubernetes, that super powerful system for running applications at huge scale. And Flow, well, that's the whole end-to-end process of machine learning. So Kubeflow's entire mission is to connect these two worlds, to bring all the power of modern cloud infrastructure to the ML lifecycle. So if Kubeflow is the operating system for our AI factory, what's actually on the assembly line? What tools do you get in the box?
Okay, so a typical ML process pretty much follows these 4 stages. First, you've got to develop an experiment, usually in notebooks. Then, you need to automate that into a repeatable pipeline. Next up, you train that model at a massive scale. And finally, you serve it up to your users. Kubeflow has a dedicated tool for every single one of these steps. And here's how those tools plug right into our AI factory analogy. Kubeflow Pipelines, that's your master blueprint. It lays out every step. The training operator is the heavy machinery doing all the intense computational work. Then you have Katib. Think of it as your quality control inspector, automatically tuning the model so it's perfect. And finally, KServe is the shipping department. It takes that finished model and gets it out to your users, reliably and at scale.
Now, this all sounds incredibly powerful, right? And believe me, it is. But, and this is a big but, that power comes with a really important trade-off. It's this constant balancing act between capability and complexity. At the end of the day, Kubeflow delivers on 3 huge promises. First is scalability. You can throw massive workloads at it. Second is portability. You build it once and you can run it anywhere Kubernetes runs. And third, and this is crucial, it guarantees reproducibility. That means you get consistent, reliable results every single time. These are absolutely massive strategic wins. But here's the paradox, the catch. Kubeflow makes life so much easier for the data scientists who are using the platform day to day. But what about the platform engineers who have to actually set this whole thing up and keep it running? For them, it is a steep, steep learning curve. So it simplifies the work, but not the setup. And this brings you to a really fundamental choice. Do you go all in on a full-stack integrated platform like Kubeflow, where everything is designed to just work together? Or do you take a best-of-breed approach? That means you hand-pick specialized tools for each job. Like, maybe you swap out Kubeflow's KServe for something like Seldon Core because you need its advanced monitoring. It's a classic choice. Do you want coherence, or do you want specialized features? So keeping that trade-off in mind, is Kubeflow actually a safe bet for the long haul?
Let's take a look at who's actually using it and how healthy the community is to figure that out.
Yeah, this is not just some theoretical tool. I mean, just look at who's using it. You see huge adoption in production across major tech industries like IT and software. But it's also making a real difference in data-intensive fields like healthcare and finance. This thing is battle-tested.
And the results? They really speak for themselves. Get this, one financial services company reported a 45% faster model iteration cycle just by using Kubeflow Pipelines. Think about what that actually means. They can innovate and react to the market almost twice as fast just by standardizing their workflow. That's a huge competitive edge.
So what about the future? Well, Kubeflow is showing all the signs of a really healthy, stable, open-source project. For one, it's an incubating project with a cloud-native computing foundation. That's a massive stamp of approval. You've got big companies like IBM, NVIDIA, and Bloomberg all contributing to it. And maybe most importantly, it's run by a community committee, not one single company. This thing is built to last.
Which brings us right back to that central choice. Adopting Kubeflow isn't like just buying a new tool off the shelf. It's a decision to build your entire factory's assembly line from the ground up. Now that gives you the ultimate control, power, and flexibility, but it's a serious investment. So the final question you have to ask is, for your AI factory, does it make more sense to buy the individual tools or to build the entire assembly line?